I feel a certain energy when the Canucks are doing well. With the kids that are coming in here, they are excited about the Canucks doing well. So when the Canucks aren't doing very well, I kind of feel like it hurts hockey in the city.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? When the playoffs come around, I remember when I was in the playoffs almost every year I played for 19 years. I think 16 of them we were in the playoffs. And it's a different atmosphere. It's exciting. It's new. You know that you're playing against the best, and the best are going to be trying their hardest. So you had to take your game to a different level. So in this city, it's always been special because, you know, you watch the games when there's fans, especially in the States right now. The one thing the Canucks had an advantage, not so much the team, but the Canuck fans were loud. They were in playoffs. It was such a treat to play in front of them. They gave everyone energy and they gave everyone courage. And I really think that hurt the Canucks this year because I think the Canuck team really depends on their fans more than most teams. You need that, you know, excitement of guys and girls and kids cheering for you, knowing just give it everything you got. And I don't think they had that, and I think it really affected them.
I love our Vancouver Canucks core team. When I think of the Canucks right now, I love every player on the team, and I don't want to see trades. I'm listening to the radio, and they're criticizing the players, and they're saying we got to make moves and all this kind of stuff. And I think about all the teams we've had. Don't you just have to be patient?
I mean, you can be patient with your top six, right? But your top 4D. But right now, they don't feel they have top 4D. I think they feel they got three. They got three to go. To be at that level of some of these teams like Tampa, Trimakin would have helped a player like that clears the front of the net, meat and potatoes type player. I mean, the teams that do really well in the playoffs, you know, you have your offensive stars, but you need those guys that are just like hard to play against. You know, like I remember playing against the Oilers in playoffs, and you know, everyone knows their top players and Coffees, and he'd wind up, and you'd know to angle him. And Gretzky, you know he's going to make a great play, so you're looking for who he's going to pass to. But you know, trying to get to the net with Kevin Lowe there, it was you know, he'd accidentally club you on the top of your foot, or you know, Charlie Huddy, you know, he'd throw kind of an elbow to your head, but he'd be saying, "Hey, sorry about that, bud." You know, like just a gentleman, but just not mean, but it was to a point. You know, Marty McSorley when he was there. I think the Canucks have to go, you know, in that aspect of a really, you know, their other 3D are just mean, no fun, Gerald Diddick, you know, type defenseman. And, you know, Dave Babich was like that. He could make plays, but they just clear the front of the net, and they would pound you if you came near the crease. And, you know, you even watch Winnipeg. They're not the best team right now, but they got some big D that you get to the net, you're getting hit pretty good.
Old 94 Canucks, eh? So do you ever get flashbacks when you're watching the playoffs and say,
yeah,
I can feel this, like this brings me back to those days when I was in the playoffs?
Absolutely. I mean, I look at this game where we see up here that's in Winnipeg, and it's called the whiteout. No one's there, but every seat has a white towel. And that rink was so loud. It was fun to play there, but it was intimidating and loud. I mean, you pick up stuff when you played, like you remember what it felt like, what it smelt like going into the Coliseum before the game, you could smell the popcorn. The popcorn machine, they made it downstairs. It went right through the whole place. Like when you enter into a building, the smells and the people, the sounds, that's what is really cool about different rinks, and they bring on their own character. So that's what I remember when I watch these games. And
what do you remember about like walking into the Coliseum? Do you have any specific memories?
Yeah, I mean, pulling into the parking lot. I was really regimented. I think as a hockey player, it's important. Yes, I had rituals. I tried to slow them down, but it was more, I arrive at 4 o'clock, I'd walk through that door, whatever, 4 or whatever. By the time I walked a couple hundred yards, it'd be the same gentleman there at the door. Hey, how's it going? And then he'd always say, hey, have a good one tonight. And, you kind of just, that extra 100 yards walking to the dressing room, you'd be kind of thinking, okay, it's going to be a good night. You're going to make sure you're going. Get in the dressing room. And then once you got in the dressing room, you saw the trainers and just kind of settle down, grab your sticks, and it's kind of a reflection time of getting your mind and body ready for the game. So it became very, after playing 1,300 games at a pro level, it became it never became a job, but there was times it was, it was a battle to make sure that you were ready to play, because mentally it's a long year sometimes.